What does capitalism mean today? And what can I, Colm O'Regan, under the radar writer and comedian, possibly tell you about it in 3 minutes? Welcome to my abridged, very, very abridged history of capitalism.
The best things in life are free, but you can give them to the birds and bees. I see.
Let's start with a definition. Capitalism is, of course, an economic system that in which trade, industries and the means of production are largely or entirely privately owned and operated for profit, of course.
Central characteristics of capitalism include private property, capital accumulation, wage labour, and in many models, competitive markets.
Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Colm, yes, you may be a witty and cerebral, at least in your own mind, commentator on economic matters for BBC World Service, but the whole history of capitalism, it's a bridge too far. You're overreaching, Colm. Don't worry, I was thinking exactly the same thing myself. That's why I've asked some eminent economists to help me out.
Capitalism is a failing brother of already failed communism.
Capitalism is the worst economic system except for all the others.
Well, it's a very bad word.
It doesn't mean anything. It's like asking a fish what water means.
I've decided to start my journey here in Dublin, in Ireland. Why not? It's where I live, but also Ireland is littered with examples of different types of capitalism. From the credit fuel, sure it'll be grand, capitalism of the Celtic tiger, to the super positive, everything is awesome attitude of tech capitalism in the Silicon Docks.
There are many different types of capitalism. You know, the American capitalism is completely different from the Japanese ones. Of course, they all each have their own strengths and weaknesses.
As capital ownership and a capital system itself evolves, we are now at the cusp of a very big change.
Oh, so much capitalism. Sometimes you just have to get away from the hurly-burly of city life and come to the park for a little light reading. So I bought this, Capital in the 21st Century by Thomas Piketty.
Thomas Piketty, welcome.
You know, this is a book about the history of income and wealth distribution in over 20 countries, over 3 centuries.
It's a big book, but I'm going to stick with it. Right, I think I've got it now. Having read the book, I mean the book now, and not just read the Economist article which summarised the book in 4 paragraphs. Oh, I'm ready now. What I think it seems to be saying is that R is greater than G. The return from wealth is greater than the return from economic growth. Basically what it seems to be saying to me is that if you're not wealthy already, you're never really going to be as wealthy as the people who already are. That's a bit of a disincentive to make something better of yourself, isn't it? If you never think you're ever going to get wealthy from working hard, what's the point in ever trying to better yourself? Maybe we should just sit around eating biscuits.
You know what they say about no two economists agreeing?
His theoretical pessimism is unreasonable. In the last 30 years, the number of people in the world on terrible subsistence incomes has been halved. That's the most important secular event in human history.
Is that the time? Well, we're at the end of the first episode already, and it's actually going better than I thought. I've read the book, and R is greater than G, so that's good. Some biscuits. And let's go on to do some history next week, and let's talk to Karl Marx.